Welcome to Rica Subtest 3 online test preparation course presented by ricatest.com. Next, we have promoting independent reading. So, in this section, you will learn the strategies to promote purposeful independent reading. Let's talk about this now. Remember, independent reading happens when the student is doing the reading. More often than not, students will pick fiction to read. But it's important to remember that we can tell them it's okay to read informational expository texts such as newspapers, articles, recipes, and more. Next, to build off that last point, it is the job of the teacher to guide students towards the books that will promote the student's independent reading level while growing a love for reading. Independent reading promotes understanding and awareness for linguistic patterns. It builds their reading fluency and background understanding, as well as their vocabulary. This all will also build the confidence of the reader. Now, in order to promote students' independent reading, teachers need to follow these next four key focus points. The first, how they can select books at their appropriate reading levels. The strategy we use for students under second grade is called the Goldilocks rule. This is where the students find a book that looks fun and interesting to them, and they try and read it. After a couple of pages, they ask themselves, is this book too easy, too difficult, or just right? Now, these young learners will have a good idea if the book is just right. For students at second grade or older, they use what's called the five-finger test. And this is where the student finds a book that they think is fun and interesting. Next, the student opens up a page right in the middle of the book. The student reads this page and puts up a finger each time they come across a word that they don't know the meaning of or they can't pronounce. After the student finishes one page, they should do the same test with one other random page in the book. After each page, if the student has zero or only one finger up, meaning they knew all or all except one word, that book is too easy. If the student has four or five fingers up, meaning they did not know four or five words on that page, that book is too difficult. If the student has two or three fingers up, that book is called a just right reading book. There is one caveat here, and that's when the student finds a book and they're really interested in reading it. They read one page, but they have four fingers up. Normally, that would say that the book is going to be too difficult, but if the student is highly motivated, we know that both interest and motivation is what makes students connect with books. Therefore, this book might still be appropriate for this reader. Next, teachers use what's called an interest inventory, which is a survey used to get to know your students better and discover students' personal interest in order to find books that they will enjoy. Finding books on topics that students enjoy is a great way to motivate students to read more. The Rica Test scores are going to want to be looking that you use the I plus I strategy. So take special note of this one. Put a star here. And this helps pair students with the books that are at their just right reading level, but they're also interested in it. Now, I plus I stands for independent reading level of the student and student's interest. I plus I. This is the winning combination to find a just right independent reading level book. The next strategy for promoting independent reading for students is to have structured independent reading opportunities in class. During this time, everyone in the classroom is reading silently and independently. This silent reading time should be done at the same time every day, and teachers should increase the length of time as the year goes on. If at the beginning of the year you start with 10 minutes of independent reading time, the next week do 11 minutes. The next week after that, do 12. The next strategy to promote independent reading is to help get students reading at home. As teachers, we can do this by creating a defined system where the teacher makes sure that the student leaves the classroom with a book and a reading log. The parent or the guardian provides a safe, quiet space for the student to read. The student's job is to read, return the book back to school, and bring the parent guardian signature back too. Teachers can also promote at home reading by allowing the students to take books home from the classroom library. Another way to promote independent reading at home is to give the parents and guardians a list of appropriate books for the family to check out at their local library. For our English learners, teachers can help overcome the language barrier to promote independent reading at home and maintain healthy communication by providing any written instructions using the parent's preferred language. Alongside promoting independent reading, teachers need to hold students accountable for their reading. Methods for monitoring students' independent reading include student maintained reading logs, book reports, formal and informal reading presentations, class discussions, and book talks. Feeling nervous about taking your Rica test? Click the link in the description below, get full access to this Rica Test Prep course, and start feeling prepared for test day.